Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this live stream. My name is Hussam Hussein, and I lead the Reactor in the Middle East and Africa. And the reactors are hubs around the globe where developers and startup founders and all people who are interested in technology come together to learn from experts around what's happening in tech. And today's session, we continue a series on building apps using PowerApps, and we're excited to have Someleze here with us, who has been the key advocate behind this series. Someleze, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Hossam, and welcome everyone to our session today. And you can see the Reactor Code of Conduct. So just make sure that you are aware of others and obviously be kind to others, and just go through the Code of Conduct and follow it throughout the entire Reactor series. So ideally, since Hussam has actually mentioned earlier on, in which we're continuing with the series that we actually have around Let's Build Together Low Code Edition. So we've already built a first project already on our end, and we are looking at building more projects again. And I hope Hussam in the background is pretty much excited. So
Yes, so
within
excited for today's session. And as you mentioned, reminding everyone about the code of conduct and what we are here today for. We are on a live stream, so they can ask questions and be engaging in the chat. And not to forget that they can send us feedback on this link. So I would love for you to tell us more about what's happening today and also highlight to anyone who missed the last parts of the series what we have covered and what are we expected to cover on the coming ones.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Hussam. Again, just to mention, we are within the Let's Build Together Low Code Edition series. And like I mentioned earlier on, we've already built the first project, which was building a booking request solution. So that solution ideally looked at building a Power App, which is a booking request app. And then on top of that, we wanted to automate the entire process running behind that app. So now today, since we've completed building a booking request solution, we are looking at building another solution with Rachel today. But ideally, before we can actually get started, for those who don't know me, my name is Someleze Digo, and I am a cloud advocate at Microsoft based in South Africa, and would love to know where everyone else is actually joining from. So make sure that you put it on the chat and let us know where you're joining from and ask questions that you need. And I love building solutions with the Power Platform, Teams, and Microsoft Azure. And I think Aisha, wherever she is, actually would attest to this, that I also now love building solutions using Microsoft Graph. So just make sure that if you are building any solutions using Power Platform, Teams, Azure, Microsoft Graph, and you are combining these different kinds of technologies together to build solutions, just make sure to reach out to me and connect with me on Twitter at Digo Someleze and on LinkedIn at Someleze Digo to see what you're working on, and also to see if we have any opportunities to actually collaborate on certain projects and build awesome stuff together. But today I'm not really alone. I'm actually with Rachel Irabo, who's actually part of this entire series. We had her last time going through a Power Automate flow and showing us how to actually build and automate a booking request process. But today, Rachel has something else in store for us. Rachel, for people who don't know you, please do a little intro to yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Somalis. My name is Rachel Rabo. Like Somalis has already said before, I'm a Power Platform developer and also a Microsoft Learn student ambassador. I'm based in Nigeria, and what do I love doing? I love Power Platform. If you watched the video before now where we worked on booking requests, you can also see I said the same thing. I love Power Platform. I like learning new things. I like exploring, and also my social media where you can connect with me. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Rachel Rabo, and you can also connect with me on Twitter, Richie for Love. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And once you connect with Rachel, you'll see the amazing things that she's actually building. So, what are we doing today? What is the Let's Build Together Low Code Edition series? Ideally, if you're new here today, you not understanding what's the series about, and we're just building a mobile sales application, but what is it part of? So, the Let's Build Together Low Code Edition series is more on showcasing and enabling you to learn how to build connected solutions with Power Apps and Power Automate, where you actually work on two projects to showcase your new learning. So in this case, we're building an end-to-end project or end-to-end solution using the Power Platform, and obviously looking at the business requirements and the business logic behind building an application. You don't just want to build a Power App, you need to build a Power App that solves a specific problem, a Power Automate flow that actually solves a specific process. So with those two projects, the first one that we've already built previously is that they actually leverage Power Apps, Power Automate, Dataverse, and also Power FX, which is the language that we use within the Power Platform, which is something that you can be able to see. So for those that haven't actually watched the entire series and were not following along and they knew, you can be able to follow along with what we are doing on aka.ms/, build together series learnings, so that you can be able to see all of the information that you need to help you get started, and also to get the on-demand videos that we've already done for the sessions in the past that Rachel and Nassis actually walked us through from the first project. So, March 10th is today, which is building a mobile sales application using Power Apps. But I'm new to this session and to the series, and I'm new to the technology itself. What is Power Apps? So, Power Apps and Power Automate are part of the Microsoft Power Platform, where it actually enables you to build solutions using low code or no code, but also using code first approaches. So in this case, the Power Platform is actually made up of five products, which is Power Pages for web development, Power Virtual Agents for your intelligent virtual agents or your intelligent virtual chatbots, Power Automate for process automation or workflow automation, which is something that we are touching on during the entire series, Power BI for business analytics, and Power Apps for mobile app development. So in this case, we've also touched on Power Apps and how you can use Power Apps to build your own mobile applications within the Power Platform. So again, within the series, you can be able to find all of those resources on aka.ms/, build together series learnings, and then you can be able to get started. So within the Power Platform and those five products, there's an underlying business data platform called Dataverse that you can actually use to store all of your data coming from all of these different kinds of your applications or solutions built with these five different products within the Power Platform. So you can either store the data or you consume the data from your Dataverse table using either Power BI, using your Power App, or utilize that data using your Power Automate flow, which is something that we will get into during the entire series. And we've already done that for the first project as well. Right. Exactly what are we doing today? Because we want behind our episode today. Rachel, would you like to actually walk us through on what we are here today and what is the actual scenario that we're building this application for?
Okay. Thank you so much, Samanis. Okay, we are actually trying to work on a sales application where you get to work with business requirements. You get to understand what you want in your business, like what gaps you want to fill in your business with Microsoft Power Apps. Like I one thing I do understand before we face the case study is that you have to figure out what issue or what gap you are having in your company, in your business. And one thing people think a lot is that when you think about Microsoft Power Apps, they are like, okay, Microsoft Power Apps is for a very big organization. I have to be in a big company, I have to be in a big organization before I can use Power Apps. You can use it in your business. You can, no matter what you are doing, you can actually utilize Power Apps to to solve the issues you have, to bring solutions to your business. And so for this particular case study we're working on, you can use it like what I said before. You can actually use it in your business, whether you are a trader, no matter what you are doing, you can use it in your business. So for the case study, you can see companies employ their sales representative, where they get to fill the app. And also there's also one thing I love about this case study is the Power Automate that is also working. That's also working on the Power Apps, where you get sent an invoice. You get sent an invoice. You are notified when your payment has been made. Like maybe you made a transfer, and sometimes it delays. You understand? Sometimes it delays. So you get the opportunity of knowing that okay, I got this payment has been made. Because there's also one thing I have noticed, that okay, maybe you are trying to do a transaction and the transaction might take time. You're trying to think that okay, I there are tricks, there's something behind this. Power Automate is actually backing up everything for you, where you get to send your customer. You don't have to wait too long for it. You get to send your customer. Yeah. Hi, Somalis.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And within this specific scenario, we're actually looking at how sales representatives are on the go and they're actually doing all of those kinds of sales pitch to people, and obviously allowing their customers to actually purchase certain stuff using this application. So ideally, in the past, people would be using their papers and having to
Yeah.
send emails manually and all of those things. Today, we are trying to automate that entire process. But before you actually build any solution, even if you're using Power Platform or you're using a different kind of technology, the specific considerations that you have to look into. And this is a theme throughout the entire series that we're doing, where you have to look at the front end of your solution, where ideally this is where your consumers or your users of your application will interact with your app and all of those things. And then the back end, in this case, where you actually store your data and all of this data that is actually coming from your application. And what I love about this specific considerations is that you can take your back end, you can build it, and then you can be able to interface that data on your front end. And then, last but not least, there's other stuff that you need to look at when you're building your solution. The middleware, the processes that actually happen from your front end, your back end, how you are getting your data to your back end, what needs to happen to that data in between specific transactions, for an example, or in between certain processes. So that's where you bring in your middleware and you build that middleware front end and back end into your solutions, right? So during today's session, you will actually be building the front end of our second project, which is the mobile sales application, and you're going to be using Microsoft Power Apps. And like I mentioned earlier on, Microsoft Power Apps is actually looking at how you can build a mobile application using low code or no code, or you can bring to build those solutions or to build those applications. So this is the interface that you can be able to control all of your controls or components that go into your interface or that go into your front end. You can drag and drop them and obviously add in some additional functionalities using Power FX on the formula bar within Power Apps. And I think Rachel will touch on that in a demo that we're going to be going through today. And then the next thing, if you build your front end, you also need a back end. And our backend in this case, we are looking at Microsoft Dataverse, like I mentioned earlier on, that Microsoft Dataverse is actually the underlying business data platform for the entire Power Platform. So it's secure, scalable, and intelligent platform for Microsoft Power Platform and Dynamics 365 solutions. You can store your data within Dataverse, and you can also consume that data using Power BI, using your Power app that you actually built, or you can manipulate that data using your Power Automate flows to actually send specific information out to your customers or to your users or to your consumers. Right. Ideally, that is what you need to look at when you are building your solutions. Your front end, in this case, because we're starting off with building a mobile sales application. So the front end is very important, and the back end is also important so that you can be able to store the data or interface it on your front end. Okay. enough talk, because there's a lot of talking and gibberish that we're talking about. Let's actually show you how to build the solution. And I think Rachel is going to be walking us through how to build a mobile sales application using Power Apps and also using Power FX. So, Rachel, take it away.
Okay, so hi everyone. This is the Power Apps environment. If you can notice, where you go to make.powerapps.com in case if you can actually join us together and build the application together, or you can watch the recording of this video. So the first thing we are going to do is that we are actually working on a sales mobile on a mobile sales application. So the things we are going to do now is to create the table for that application, and we are actually using Microsoft Dataverse. So after getting to the environment, I'm just going to click on tables, then click on new table. And there's one thing I want to point out is that it's very I'll advise you that you should be able to check your existing data, like your existing table, to check that, okay, this particular table I'm building on, does it exist? Is it a table I can actually use in Dataverse that relates to what I want to use? For what we have here, there is no table relating to what we want to use. So we are going to create a new table. And the tables we are creating is mobile sales, and also we have product table. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to click on new table, then also click on new table. So I'm just going to go ahead and name the app, then click on enable in attachments. There's also one thing that's advisable to this display name. You can easily just change it from name to the name you actually want to use. And the name we're changing it to here is sales representative, sales representative name. And this is actually a single line of text. So we're just going to change the business requirement to optional. I'm just going to click on save. So we're going to wait for that to save. Okay. Then we are going to scroll down our page. Then you can notice it's your mobile sales column and data. We're just going to wait for that. Then, okay, I'm going to create a new column, which is says representative email. Okay, and our data type is single line of text. And according to the business requirements for this case study, the data type is single line of text and the format is text. If not, you can easily just change it to an email since you have a sales representative email. But for this, the format we'll be using is going to be text. So I'm just going to save this. Before we complete this table, I'm going to show you something that you can do, that when you build your applications, you build your data vast table, and you build your flow in Power Automate, you can easily export all these solutions together at the same time. You don't have to, I don't have to be here right now, create this particular table, create this mobile sales table, create the product table, and export each of them separately. I can easily export them together. So I'm going to show you how to do that before we continue. So now I'm going to click on solutions. Then I'm going to click on new solution. Then give the solution a name. Just going to give it mobile sales solution, then publisher. Okay. For if you want to create a new publisher, you can easily click on new publisher, but we're just going to go ahead and click on reachable and then click on create. Okay, so now if you can see on this place on the left side of my screen, you can see where I have apps, I have chatbots, meaning I can bring chatbots from Power Visual Agents. I have cloud flows and also have tables. So I'm just going to bring an already existing table. You can see after clicking on add existing, I'm going to click on table and search for that particular table I just created. Okay, so you see, this is the table I just created. I'm going to click on next, click on include the table metadata and click on add. Okay, you can see this is our table that's inside of this solution. So we're doing this when I have my app, when I have my application, I have my flow, and I have two of my tables here. I can easily export all of this. I can easily export all of these solutions and use it in a different environment. So we're going to continue with our table. Okay. Okay, we already have sales representative name, and we're going to add product name, product name, which is the data type is single line of text. Then we're also going to just click on save. Then the next column is product cost. And the data type for this is different. It's actually currency because cost is money. So the data type for this is currency. Then we are going to click on save. Okay. Then we are going to add to this. And the next one is customer name, data type single line of text. Click on save. And we are going to add the next column too. Customer email. The same thing here, we are just going to leave the format to text instead of using the format of email. But when you are creating this, if you want to use email, you can. But for our business requirements, our text, for our format is actually text. So we're going to click on that and click on save. Okay, so we are going to do something else too. We're going to add more columns to this table. Just going to click on add, go for sales number. Sales number is still single line of text. And we are going to click on save. But you can actually change the data type. I'm trying to give you options in order to understand the table better. And one thing I'll advise you, especially if this is the first time you are learning about Microsoft Dataverse or you are learning about data types, I advise you to go to learn more about Microsoft Dataverse and also learn about data types in Microsoft Dataverse. So for numbers, you can actually use like for instance, for this particular column I'm trying to create, sales number, I can use the data type of number, making it, yeah, but for this, we're still going to use single line of text. So I'm just going to click on save. Then we're just going to click on display name and sales status. This is also different. This is not a single line of text because it has three options. We are going to create a choice data type for this column. So I'm just going to click on, after clicking on choice here, I'm still going to click on choice and scroll down. Then I'm going to create a new choice. Okay. Just going to show you how to create that. think if there's anything we are missing, we can actually come back to the table and add it to the table. So for these values, I'm just going to remove this. Does not really mean, but I'm just going to remove these numbers and add this instead, just 1 to 3, and click on save. So there's something here. I already have that existing column in my, I have this existing choice in my table. So I'm just going to click on cancel and search for that particular choice. Okay, so I'm just going to search for it, sales status, and you can see it, invoice sent, purchase, and cancelled. Yeah, perfect. Then we click on save. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them on the comments. Thank you. So I'm going to show you the next thing to do now. I'm going to show you how to create the product table inside of this solution. So I'm just going to click on table, then I'll click on new. You know, for the first thing I did, the first one I did was I added an already existing table that we created, but now I'm going to create a new table. So after clicking on table, I'm just going to still click on table. Then go for products, change the primary column to product name. Remove it, the business requirement from business required to optional. Click on save. Then I'm still going to scroll down. Okay. If you can notice these columns that you are actually seeing here, they were not created by me. They were created by Microsoft Dataverse, so you don't have to worry too much about them. So we are going to go ahead and click on this plus sign to add more columns to the table. So the next column is product cost. I'm going to change the data type to currency. Click on save. And then the last column we have in product table is description. So I'm just going to add that here. Going to scroll down. Okay. This perfect single line of text, then click on save. Okay, so now we have our two tables, which is the mobile sales and also the product table. So now what we are going to do next is to create a simple Canvas app. And we are going to be creating directly from Dataverse. So we are going to go back to PowerApps. Going to go back to PowerApps. Okay. So as you can see from the Power Apps environment, we actually have creating an app from a blank app. We have creating an app from Dataverse. We have from SharePoint and so many others. Excel, SQL, image preview, and also Figma. This we are going to be creating with Dataverse, which we create a 3-screen view app for us, which is the detail view, the browse screen, the detail screen, browse screen, and also the edit screen. So I'm just going to click on Dataverse. And if you do not already have a connection with Microsoft Dataverse, that is okay. You can just click on new connection, look for Microsoft Dataverse, and click on it. After clicking on it, you click on create. So I'm just going to go back and click on this. So this is going to show us our tables. We are going to be creating directly from products, which is our product table. We are going to be creating directly from it. I'm just going to click on products, then click on connect. Okay, so I'm just going to increase my screen so that you can see it better. So you can see the app right now. We have a 3 screen view app. This is not amazing. Like I did not have to go through too much stress in order to create this app. I actually just use directly from Dataverse and I already have a 3 screen view app. So what I need to do now is just to make some corrections and add the app the way I want, edit the app and make it the way I want it to be. So for this particular screen, you can see this is actually connected to the product table. And now we are going to bring in the mobile sales table into this application. So I'm just going to click on this icon here, this data icon, then click on add data, click on tables, then search for mobile sales. Okay. So after adding that, you can see we have added the 2 tables into the app. So after adding this, this particular icon that you are seeing here, app, then go to down property, then just I'm going to use a global variable. A global variable is what you can use throughout your app. So I'm going to use this and create a variable for it. Okay. Then close it. Okay, so this with this global variable, we can easily call it in any parts of the app. So we're just going to continue working on this app. I'm going to go to the edit screen. So the edit screen, the data source that is connected to the edit screen right now is the product table, and I want to change that. So I'm just going to click on mobile sales and replace my data cards. So if you can notice, it's actually showing an error. And the reason why it is showing an error, you can see if you can easily read this, what it's showing. It's showing an invalid formula, expected a variable compatible with data source. So this sales representative name created on are actually they are actually contradicting to what it's wanted. Let me just check to see. Okay, this is what is happening then. If you can see this browse gallery dot selected, it's actually coming from the browse screen, which is the first screen, and it's the product table that we have here. So we're just going to remove that. We're just going to remove that. Just click on the arrow, click on edit in the formula bar, and just remove this. Okay, perfect. So we are going to add our columns into this table. So I'm just going to click on the screen, which is the edit form, and go to the right-hand side of my screen, click on edit fields. I'm going to remove this created on. Going to click on add field. Okay, so we're going to look for the columns. Okay, let's just search. I want it more arranged, product name, product costs, customer name, customer email, sales number, and also sales status. Okay, just going to search for that. perfect. Then I'm going to click on add. Okay, now we have, you can see now we have those columns in our tables. And you can easily just, if you say maybe, okay, the way your app is looking, you don't like the way it is arranged and you want to arrange it, you can easily just go back to clicking on edit fields. You can just drag, you can easily drag, or you can click on the three dots and click on move down, or you can click on move up. So you have options to arrange your columns. So I'm just going to save my app. I'm going to click on save. Then I'm going to name this application. I'm going to give it a name. Okay, I'm going to give it a name. Then I'm going to play this app. Just going to click on play. And if you notice, the app is not playing. Like what we're seeing just now, they are no longer showing. So we're going to correct that. I'm just going to click on edit form, then change the default mode from edit to new. Then we're going to play the app again. So you can see the difference on the app. So I'm going to click on close. Then we save the app. Then I'm going to go back to solutions. Before continuing with the app, I'm going to go back to solutions and add that application into solutions. Okay, so I'm just going to add existing, click on app, click on canvas app, click on outside the canvas, then see the app, then I'm just going to click on add. So they said the app is locked. I'm just going to go back and actually the app is saved. I'm just going to close it, then come back and add the app. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, you can see now we have our application here and we also have our tables. So when you have your flow here, you can easily export everything you have here. So I'm just going to go back to the app. Just going to click on this and okay, click on it and click on edit. I'm going to wait for it to load. Okay. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm going to go back to edit screen. Then I'm going to click on our sales representative. Just going to click on this. If you have questions on where I clicked on, I'm just going to show you at this side. In order to understand better, I'm going to show you at the left-hand side where you have your sales representative name, your card on sales representative name. I clicked on data card value 5. So yours might be showing data card value 3, data card value 2. As long as you have data card value, that is what we are working with. So I'm going to default and And one thing to notice is that this particular card is locked. So I'm going to unlock it. I'm just going to go to advanced, click on unlock, then change this default property to set. Sales rep, You remember what we used on the app on the unstart property? So that is what we are working on now. Okay, just going to wait for that. Going to try it again. Okay, dot full name. Let's see. Okay, let's see what's wrong with this. Okay. Okay, let's try for the email and see how to solve the issue of that before going back. Let's try for email. Just going to unlock, then go to the properties, click on default, set. Okay. Okay. There's an error in the app. Try visiting. Okay. Let's see what is wrong. Okay. Just going to wait to understand what the issue is. It's supposed to come up. Okay, set variable dot value. Okay, sorry. I think I know what's happened. Okay. Okay, let's try and understand what the error is. We have set variable value any PowerApps value, including the text, variable, and object. The global variable is set to this value.
Yes, I've been following along with you, and I think I might have
Yeah.
an idea. The perks of following
Okay.
along with a live demo. So I
Yeah.
think because we are setting the default property of that of data card or text box, what we need to do now is to just use the variable that we already set. So instead of setting it afresh, we're just gonna say var sales rep dot full name.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
check that
that's true.
out.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just
Yeah.
try this first. Yep. Okay. Perfect. It's working. Then we're going to do the same for this.
Yeah, while Rachel is still setting up for the email, I would just like to point out
Yeah.
to everyone else that is following along with the demo on what Rachel is doing. So ideally, with what she began with, she set the variable to get the signed in user using the varSales rep variable. And then now we are using the default property of the sales rep name and the sales rep email. We are using that variable to access both the email and the name of the signed in sales representative. So that is basically how you can be able to pull data of a signed in user within Power Apps using that Power FX formula that we have here.
Okay. Thank you, Similes. Okay. I'm just going to continue. Then I'm going to do something. I'm going to go to the browse screen because I also have to do the same thing for the product name, the product cost. So I'm just going to go back and this navigation icon you're seeing here, I'm just going to change it to variable set variable. are selected. Okay, hope this works. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to go back to our edit screen and go to product name and go to the default property. Okay, we're going to unlock the card and call that variable. Okay, then think trying to figure out my iframes. Perfect, okay. Yep. Okay, then we are doing the same thing for product cost. I'm just going to unlock this and go to default property and change it. Well, we are trying to connect the if you understand the product table, you can see we actually have like product name, we have product cost. So instead of going through the struggle of actually creating a relationship, you can actually go for something like this where your data are showing in your product name and in your product cost. You get to see it here in your mobile sales table. Okay, so that's selected. Okay, I'm just going to click on that, and that's it. So we are going to change the visibility of these columns of sales representative and for email too. So I'm just going to go to click the whole card. Then I'm going to go to the visibility property. Then I'm going to change it from true to false. Okay. Think. Let's see what's wrong. Okay. Okay. They are both not showing. They are both not showing. And also, I'm going to do the same thing for product table. Going to change the visibility to false. Okay. Then change for product cost to false. Then we are going to change the sales status to false because the sales status is actually determined by the Power Automate flow. So we are just going to change that to false where they do not have access to. Why we are actually hiding these columns is that you do not have access to edit them. They're actually done by your, like, I'm going to show you where you see them on your detail screen. I'm just going to show you the visibility of this sales status. I'm going to easily change it to false. You see, now we have your customer name, your customer email, and also your sales number. So I'm going to go to detail screen. Going to go back to detail screen, click on the screen, change it from product to mobile sales. Going to click on replace my cards. Then we're going to do the same thing we did for edit screen. I'm just going to remove all of this. Then click on detail form, go to edit fields, then add our expected columns or expected data to this app, to these fields. Okay, I'm just going to search them out. Dot cost, customer name, customer email. Okay. Then click on add. Okay. So just going to go back to this. See what's wrong. It's supposed to be showing. Okay, each of these, like, let me just check what happened. Okay, I think I've seen what happened. Okay, I'm just clicking on the cards at the left hand side. Then I'm clicking on their data card value. So I'm just trying to expand to see if our data is showing. So I'm trying to expand from this particular place. It's not, I can't expand. So I'm just going to go to the right hand side and expand the size. I went to width. So I'm just going to change this width from parent.width minus 60 to, let's try 20. That's too small. Let's try 60. 60 too small. Okay, let's try the height first to see what's happening. Okay. Okay. It's a bit bigger, but it's okay. Then we're going to go to, let's try and understand what's happening. Just try to go to see the display mode. Okay. It's supposed to be working. Okay. First of all, let's just click on save. Okay, our app is saved already. Just Ctrl S to save your app. And I'm going to go back to detail screen in order to see what's happening, what the issue is. Okay. Hi, Somalis. Just going to click on.
Yes, Rachel.
Any idea what's happening?
So you want to display the
Okay.
information and you want to expand that. So you would need to have
Yeah.
data first so that you can be able to debug or look at whatever issues that
Okay.
you would
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
go to
Thank
the
you.
browser and then let's add some information there. But
Okay.
ideally, I think with the detail screen as well, it follows the similar process that the edit screen that we had. So just like
Yeah.
how Rachel showed us um, how to add in those business rules and those business requirements that we needed on the edit screen, those same business requirements apply for the detail screen. So this is where I would say, Rachel, let's give everyone a homework to actually follow through with the edit screen, and then they will then sort out and have their detail screen set up by themselves and through looking through
Okay.
the challenge that we have, the Cloud Skills Challenge.
Okay, that's perfect. And there's also one thing to notice, like if you notice for this detail screen I had an issue where the data card value was was too small, like the width and the height was too small. So you can easily just, if you have that same issue, you can easily just increase it by either going to this property here, changing the width and height, or you can easily just go to your right hand side and click on width, then later clicking on height. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Rachel. So, due to time, we are just gonna save that specific demo that we just did with Rachel. The same process that we've been doing the entire series when it comes to setting up your business rules, your business requirements. It's very important when it comes to building your solutions within the Power Platform. Even using a different technology, you have to have your business rules and you can be able to apply them using different kinds of methods. So in this case with Rachel, Rachel actually showed us how to do that using PowerFX within Power Platform. So my task to you guys, thank you so much, Rachel, again for that amazing
Yeah,
demo and how
thank
to
you.
set up a custom table within Dataverse. So that was amazing. So now, my task to everyone is follow what Rachel was doing during the live demo, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who are following as well. Follow through that, and then obviously make sure that you reach out to us if you have any questions and you have any blockers around building the mobile sales application. And then for you to be able to complete the learnings from the series itself, again, if you're new and you're watching this towards the end, which I don't know why you would start at the end and not start at the beginning, just look at the onboarding blog that we have, which is on aka.ms/, let's build together series learnings, and then you can be able to have access to all of the resources that you would need to set up your developer account if you don't have one, and then you can be able to follow through with the steps that we've completed with Narcis and Rachel in building the booking request solution, and also the steps that Rachel has followed during this specific session in building a mobile sales application. And also we have the aka.ms/database dash tables, aka.ms/PowerApps canvas, where you can be able to build your own custom tables and your own canvas apps within PowerApps. Last but not least, I cannot emphasize this so much. So, what I want you guys to do as your homework is complete the Cloud Skills Challenge that we have for the series. And you can find the Cloud Skills Challenge on aka.ms/, let's build together challenge. This challenge actually has a learn module that would walk you through the process of building such a solution. And I think the great example that it uses is the booking request solution that we already built. So if you want to read through and have a little bit more info and a little bit more of detail around that specific solution, I advise you to complete the challenge because you'll find that learn module there. It's just six learn modules that you can go through within Microsoft Learn. So make sure to complete that specific Cloud Skills challenge as part of your homework. And I'll be following up with everyone on our next session. And speaking of our next session, the upcoming reactor session that we have is our last but not least session around automating a mobile sales process with Power Automate with Shadrach Kiprotich, who will take us through how to use Power Automate and add in that specific process that would be underlying within our solution for mobile sales. So, in a case where once you submit that mobile sales, so a sales representative submits that mobile sales, and then obviously it's requesting an invoice and how to request that invoice. Either you have to send an email and you have to generate it, or is there someone that has to type it down and all of those things? Shadrach would actually show us how to actually automate something like that using Power Automate. So make sure to join us on 13th of March on Monday next week, same time, 1 p.m. GMT. And obviously, we would love to actually see you part of that last session so that you can have that full end to end project. And again,
Hi,
your
families.
yes, Rachel,
I think, yeah, I think we have a question.
of course.
Yeah, Like someone is asking, we can also use SharePoint as a backend if we don't have access to Dataverse, right? Yes, definitely you can. You can use SharePoint as your backend. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You're not limited to Dataverse. You can use SharePoint as your backend. You can even
Yeah.
use an Excel worksheet
Yeah.
as your backend to store your data and all of those things. It depends on your own preference. So again, make sure to join the upcoming Reactor series, Reactor session that we have for this series. It's the last one, and make sure that you complete the Cloud Skills Challenge and provide us with feedback for this specific Reactor session that we have been doing the entire series, and also provide feedback around the Power Platform and all of those things. So to provide us with the feedback for the Reactor series, just go to the link that is displayed on your screen, which is on aka.ms/reactor/survey, so that we can be able to improve all of the series that we have been doing within the Reactor YouTube channel, and all of the episodes that we're bringing to you, and what you actually want to learn more about, and what kind of learning style that you're comfortable with. Other than that, I would like to thank Rachel for being part of the series, and also thank you for following along with the demos that we've been doing. Hope to see you again on our last session, and thank you. Have a great day.